again.
Dude, never. Oh, what's up, legends? Welcome to Blindside's round 13 buy, hold, and sell. Don't know about you boys, but it's nice to have someone else filling in for Browny this week. It's me, man. How you going?
Yeah, good man. How are you, man?
We got a Jamaican Queensland fan. I'll take anything they can get, those Queenslanders, that's for sure. How are you going, Kenty?
I'm going good, bro. And we only get Jamaicans because our player depth is quite low.
The eligibility pool is tiny.
You know that the eligibility was only changed because Queensland needed a few extra players.
Yeah, well, they do anything to change the rules and get the outcome in their favour. Bloody cheats, grubs. Anyway, we'll have plenty of that over the next few weeks, fellas, because I hope you went to Chemist Warehouse to buy your Queensland branded tissues because you're going to be needing them on sideline tonight. But
Wait. I've had deja vu, Kenty. Didn't this happen last year?
I do remember this.
I
remember this posturing. I remember a whole lot of chat, and then it went very quiet. Just like now.
Becoming legends. It was a great podcast. Buy, holds, and sells. Up Queensland. No, actually, I'm going to paywall this for all Queenslanders if they want to see round 13 buy, hold, and sell. $50 each. But boys, rank wise, I literally halved my rank, or doubled my rank. It's probably a better way to say it. Went outside the top 1,000. I'm now 1,700. Only played 11 last week, so I'm actually surprised I only dropped by like 800 ranks. It ended up being pretty decent for me. Tamari Martin ended up being a pretty decent buy considering a 72. He made like 76k minus 23 break even this week, and Nico Hines not being there. So if I didn't buy him, I'd be in a bit of a weird pickle this week. But that's how I'm sitting. I've got 13 trades left, 662k in the bank. I'm looking at potentially Reece Walsh, Kale Iro, and Terrell May this week, but that's kind of where I'm sitting at the moment. But we'll start here with you, Jamaican Brownie. How are you sitting?
I'm good. I actually made like 500 ranks, so I'm now in the top 4K.
You
3,916.
Won't last long.
So yeah, I'm still toying with some trades. Spiking up the thought of Macassini again as kind of like a cheap cover throughout the rounds. I know he's burnt us before, but hell, he can burn me. He can burn me again. That's fine. Yeah. So I'm toying with a couple of things.
Nice. How about you, Kenty? You disappeared and then just reappeared again, and your hair looks real nice. What did you do? Put some gel in
it? No, I was just plugging in my laptop before I got disconnected.
Yeah, right. Nice.
Yeah. But now that we've covered off that awkward moment, before the final game, I couldn't believe it. So I was playing a player short. I'd halved my ranks. And if you think about that, that's quite a lot considering how far behind I've been. So in the end, I think I ended up making 5,500 ranks. So I'm now at 11. No, where am I? Yeah, 11,000.
Nice.
Almost 12,000 actually. 11,900.
Can I just ask as well? Just hands up if you scored over 700 last week.
Yep. Oh no, Jai, what happened?
Hands up if you're inside the top 2K. Yeah, boys, that's what I thought. I had one last week of piss taking before my hair's blonde, so let me have it, all right?
Yeah. Don't worry, we'll give you last year's origin. Oh, hold up. No, we can't. Sorry.
Oh, this is not going to last long, this body. See you later.
Someone's about to throw their toys. Yeah, and then from a trade kind of perspective, I'm kind of playing around with either going risky and going pretty hard and bringing in like say a Walsh straight away and just give that a twirl because I've got quite a lot of ranks to make up, or I'm going to do very, very simple, almost no trades. So I can get away with pretty much just holding this round. So yeah, I'm either going to go super risky or just play it safe.
Nice. So in terms of Kenty's market move strategy then, because we've kind of touched on a few different points there as to what we're each going to do with our trades. How are you looking at the landscape? Because a lot of people last week chased those gap fills so that they could fill 13. Now they've spent more trades. We all know what's coming in round 15 with centre wing fullback, likely needing to spend more trades. So there is definitely utility in the theory there that you're using of just trying to get through with what you've got while you've got it. But how are you looking at 13 as a whole now? Like, where do you think people are going to go wrong, and how do you think they should go?
Yeah, for sure. So it was a good segue into what I've been telling a whole lot of coaches to do this round. So when it comes to the minor rounds where you've only got 3 teams on the bye, I think a lot of teams can actually pretty much hold most of their trades this round. And I would say most minor bye rounds, coaches will be able to do that. And I think that minor buys are the time to probably play it a little bit safer in how many trades you spend. So I don't mean by, go for the safest players if you are spending a trade. I would say be really careful about how many trades that you do use. So for example, May, I would love to have Terrell May this round, and he's a screaming buy for sure. But at the moment, I've got Twal, Clark, and Stewart as my mids, and I'm playing Toby Couchman at edge. Now, if I go out and buy May, which one of those players am I dropping? So I could quite easily say, okay, well, you could upgrade Stewart. But the way that Stewart's been playing and the way that the minutes he's had and all the rest of that, he's still playing really, really well, still playing fine, and he's a hold. So I wouldn't necessarily be pivoting him. But the problem is that as soon as you start chasing bigger players, even KPP is another player that is a good example. In my edges right now, I've got the Couchman brothers. Who would I drop for KPP? What you can end up doing is spending too much money. You can end up having a problem of, okay, so which one do I not play? Which one do I put to my bench? And just like last week, when we all thought Lasati was solid as houses, he ends up, spitballing a 30-something, and then you're stuffed. And so what a lot of coaches will end up doing is, A, they'll have too much money sitting on their bench. B, they'll spend too much money. C, they'll spend another trade. And then probably D, they're going to end up with the wrong players sitting on their bench, and they're going to end up stuffing up their scores. So my advice would be have a really good look at your team. If your player, like say a Setu 2, if you've got maybe 1 or 2 of those type players that are kind of scoring you a 30, I would look to upgrade them. But if you've got players who are easily sitting around the 50s, 55, 60s, and we know that Stewart can do that. We know the Couchman brothers can do that. We know all those kinds of players can do that. I wouldn't upgrade them, or I wouldn't put them on the bench. I would play them this round and try and save as many trades as you can.
Well, you might have just talked me out of getting Terrell May. Anyway, we'll go into this now with the buy, hold, and sell phase, because that's definitely left me pretty open-minded. Buys, fellas. I'm going to start here. It's more of a buy watch case, but it's Reece Walsh. Now, I was originally like, no way. Do not buy him. He has risk of Origin 2. All he needs is form. He's got a break-even of 76, but he is against Origin depleted sides versus the Dragons and the Titans in the next 2 weeks, and could potentially be playing round 15 major where we have mad gaps. So the hold narrative or watch narrative, let's say, it makes perfect sense. Let his price come down with the 76 break even and buy him in round 15 if he's not selected for Origin to mitigate your risk. But the potential downside of doing that play is that although he has a 76 break even this week, he's coming up against the Dragons, who have yet to win a game this season. And then it's Titans, who are almost equally as bad in terms of defensive structure. So Reece Walsh could come out and put on a mozza, and we might not see him get much cheaper than he currently is. So my current play is maybe just watch 1 week and then buy the week after, but I also need a winger fullback. So I don't mind what way coaches go here, but I would probably look to buy into Reece Walsh, mostly if you need winger fullback cover, not just because you want him in your side. That's probably the play I would go this week. But anything to add there, guys?
Yeah, I think he's a buy. I've kind of listed him this week as a risky buy, just purely because of Origin. And so I want to preference that any of the players that we talk about now, because this is pre-Origin, I would reconsider after watching Origin, and I would reconsider pretty heavily. For example, Ponga, we all know his injury history, and he can go down in a moment's notice. And then if that happens, guess who's in, baby?
Yeah, Welsh's dad.
So
awesome.
So if he goes down, Walsh is in. So we know that for sure. So I have him as a risk because he could get called in. If Queensland get pumped tonight, where are they going to look to make changes? Now, I know this is highly theoretical, and them getting pumped is almost non-existent.
Oh, they'll probably just get beaten.
But the reality is that if they're going to make changes, they're going to look for players who can change the complexion of the game. Walsh is one of those players. So even if Ponga is completely fine, Walsh is still at risk of being bench. He's still at risk of coming to fullback and Ponga being shifted to halves. There's a myriad of things that can happen. So it is a huge risk.
Agreed. And the soft tissue injury history of Caleb Ponga as well, with only a 3-day turnaround. He's named to play as a backup, but I don't think he will. He's the one that I'm most cautious about being a late withdrawal on the weekend. And Fletcher Sharp in the centres, it's kind of like, got a feeling he'll shift to fullback. But anyway, Caleb Ponga is a different chat. We'll go to you, Brownie. Been silent over there. What is your buy this week?
Just biding my time. My boy is big T May. It's Terrell May.
T May.
I think he is the most obvious buy choice this round. And I know a lot of coaches are overcapitalized with mids at the moment, because even myself, if I get May this week, I've got Horse and Willison on the interchange. But this is a Terrell May that's fresh off a bye. Before he went on the bye, he was putting up consecutive 70s. And I just think with the bye schedule he has, he now doesn't have a bye until round 23. I think he is prime for the picking. And if you're wanting to upgrade someone, then he is the most logical choice. So, yeah, that is why Terrell May is definitely my buy of the week.
Yeah, he is juicy, but he's an easy one. I've got Patrick Carrigan, Toby Couchman, Alex Twile, Kai Pearce, Paul, and Rauchman currently in my front five. So I can easily side with Kenty's perspective here. But at the same time, there's people out there in 14.8% ownership bracket that own Terrell May. I could easily loop in Terrell, but then who do I loop in with? Like out of Carrigan, Touchman, and Twile, it's like, correct. Again, it's got that whole Kenty face. Like, I want him bad, man. He was my first trade in this week, and then now he's still in my side right now. It's just sitting on the bench, but I'm like, I just don't know.
The reality is that his buy being in round 23 actually gives you time. Because you've got such a massive stretch, it actually provides you time to watch. His 71 break even gives you time to watch just this week. And then you can pick him up when you actually need him, rather than having someone who's going to score a 60 sitting on your bench and May scores a 70. Yeah. So it's the difference between 10 points probably for a lot of these players. And then the reality is that you've just spent big time money. You've also spent another trade, and we don't know what sort of injury is going to come out through this week. And then suddenly you're up for another forced trade. So if you can, and you can play a really good forward pack, your 3 starting mids are mint, I would highly recommend just holding off a week. That's all. I still think he's an absolute screaming buy. If you need a mid, you can't go better. I don't doubt that, but I do think that a lot of teams have got really, really good mids, and you don't need them this week.
It's tough, eh? It's
And
tough.
you are just going to spend too much money. You're going to spend too many trades, and yeah, you're going to have someone score a 50 plus sitting on your bench.
Yeah. And the average trades remaining across the competition is 13, which
Yeah.
is exactly where I'm currently on. So if all of a sudden you can save trades this week, you're
Yeah.
going to be ahead of the average. Well, you're going to have more trades in the bank. And
So
for
over
me,
Origin, because of the majors, and you have so many people, we just know how many players we're out come round 15. If you can get away with not spending more than one trade in a minor, you are going to do better than everybody else.
yeah,
I'm convinced of it. It's the
yeah,
best time, it's the best strategy over how Origin is being played right now, to be able to save trades. We need to save trades somewhere. And in a minor, if you can save a trade, and over a whole lot of other people, if you can save 2, 3 trades compared to other people, you're going to kill it.
yeah. Here's my main concern with the average trade balance remaining is like I'm at 13, and as this states, that's about average. But a lot of people I do advice for are either side of that bracket. It's like some are down in single figures now, and others are at around 15, 16 remaining.
Yeah.
So like my brain is even at 16 at this point of the season with trades remaining historically, that's low. Like 13 trades right now remaining until the round 20 plus 8 is low. We usually look to finish with 8 to 12 remaining. So what my mentality is that any trades spent now are only going to take from your balance in the run home. So I really make that decision as to whether or not who I'm buying, are they going to be in my team long term? Like, is this someone I want to keep for good?
The other argument that I've been getting a lot, this player is going to help me come round 15. Okay, so we're round 13. We haven't even played it yet, and Origin hasn't played yet. And that is a really slippery slope to be on, because the reality of that player being around, fit and healthy by around 15 is, it seems like this year, low.
Yeah.
And so it is really, really scary. And you've got 4 trades from now.
Yeah.
So ultimately, I don't adhere to that idea of, but they cover around 15. They might not even be around.
That's right.
So don't convince yourself that's a good trade this week just because you've got FOMO and you think it's a great idea, and you're talking yourself into it because they cover around 15. For some of these players, the only time to get them is round 15, because then they are definitely there. And
Yeah.
And our trade balances are so low.
Yeah. And that's kind of been the narrative I've given a lot of coaches in the faithful, like even on the roundtable last week. It was that you can't trade for a player because they cover a specific hole in the future.
Yeah.
That is a byproduct of other reasons why you're already buying. It was a big reason why we said Bostock last week. Like, obviously, he didn't blow out of the park like we anticipated, but he still scored above break even, and he's still a benefit. The net benefit was he has a 16 break even. He's going to make money. He covers winger fullback now, but he could become a winger fullback center DPP in the future. And then after that analysis, it's like then adding on, he has round 15. So it's like, because you can't, as you just said there, even 15 from now and 18 from now, what you're going to do is you're going to box yourself into players that are not of actual value, and you're going to lock yourself out of, 1, buying what's relevant, and 2, spending trades that may prove to be unnecessary. So I vibe with that big time. Thanks, Kenty, for making me save trades and staying ahead of you on the ladder. That sounds great advice. Your buy, bro. Who's your buy this week?
My buy is still Touchman. Toby is killing it. And I'm really thankful for NRL Physio putting people off captaining him last week, because that worked massively in my favour.
Well, did you put the C on him, did you?
What's that?
Did you put the C on him?
Yeah, man.
Nice.
So my strategic play was, I'm chucking the C on him, because I think out of anyone who was left, he was by far the best captain option. But if he got scratched before the game, I had my vice captain on Rauchman, because I figured if Toby's out, then Ryan will benefit and he'll go massive. So I kind of hedged my bets massively and put the C and the VC on the 2 brothers up against my mighty Wars, because I figured they were going to get a whole lot of tackles, and they sure did.
Yeah, nice. You played that well. I can never captain against my own side. But yeah, I don't have anything against T-Couch either as being a buy. I think the only negative about Dragons right now is they don't play 15. So just be cautious that if you do need cover for a position and it's not going to benefit you, obviously I'm trying not to be contradictory here, because it's like, you don't want to buy a player just because they cover you, but you also don't want to buy into something blindly knowing that soon it doesn't cover you. It works.
But at the moment, it's kind of between him and May as the best captain choices, ultimately.
Yeah.
So he would be someone that I would buy.
Yeah, for sure. I own him, so I don't want to talk anyone out of that either. Now, holds, fellas. I'm concerned about a lot of players that people are looking to sell. Now, a big issue last week that we tried to talk so many of the faithful out of, there was a handful of coaches that decided to just pull the trigger anyway, and it was chasing the Aitkins. We said don't chase Karaz, or be more cautious of Karaz, probably the narrative. He ended up doing well, and he is in hyper dominance this week. People still buying in a week after they actually needed him. He doesn't play 15-18, so my narrative is just don't trade someone because they might be named on the reserves this week, or say Nico Hines being injured. We don't know how long he's going to be out for. He's a seasoned keeper. You've got cover for him. There's no reason to trade him. Nathan Cleary, I'm even getting in public comments, people asking to sell Nathan Cleary. I'm like, what? He could be a late inclusion. There's nothing stopping any of that. So my whole narrative isn't a particular person. It's just like, don't just rage bait trade anymore. Like, this isn't, Nathan Cleary hasn't been named, I'm going to sell him, use his cash to do this. It's like, well, then you got to buy him back. And you're selling someone to get someone now that you're likely only going to need to sell someone else to get that same player later. And at this point of the season, with trade balances where they are, that is such a silly play, in my opinion. So firm hold in my estimation. But yeah, mine's not a particular person, just more like a general narrative of holds right now. But we'll go to you, Browny. Idris, who is your hold this week?
It is Nico. It's Nico Hines. As an owner, I have the backup there in Sanders to be able to fill the void, so that's handy. From what I've seen and heard across different forums, specifically going towards NRL Physio, he has complained of calf soreness and back soreness as well. So it's probably going to be around that 1 to 3 mark, which still puts him in line for around 15. If it is only minor, I dare say that it could just be 1 week and he could be back next week. So it would be so silly to trade if that's the case. If he was confirmed out 3 to 4 weeks, then I would be teetering towards more of a sell. But because it's only calf tightness and back soreness, that leads me to believe that, okay, it's just a short stint on the sideline.
Yeah,
very similar to Herbie. Herbie had the hammy tightness, so it was just safety precautions. Okay, cool. We're going to let him rest this week. Then he has the bye. So it could be a 1 to 2 week thing for Hines, but I'm hoping it's just going to be just a 1 week thing.
Yeah, see, and I even think at that 3 to 4 week mark as well, I'd still be holding. Like, he's a seasoned keeper who there's not actually an issue here. Like, he hasn't torn his calf. He hasn't had a syndesmosis. He hasn't grade 3 hamstring tear. It's just like general wear and tear. He's trying to get a bit of rest in his body. Apparently, there's a bit more to it. Apparently, it's something that he's aggravated while he's been at training. So, obviously news has to come out about it, but I'm also a Sharks fan, so it'd be tedious on whether or not you listen to me saying hold Hines for the rest of the season, because I'd borderline hold him even if he did an ACL. So, I've got that much cash, boys, in the bank. Team value's high. I can get away with doing that. There's a motivational speaker, big old Nico on the bench there. So, anyway, hold Nico. Good chat. What about
you? Just wow.
No, wow.
That is quite the mouth you have. Okay, so my biggest hold is not any one player, it's the Dolphins. The amount of Dolphins that are being sold this week is crazy. Now, I know that they have a buy, but it doesn't mean that you need to go out and sell them all because they're only away for a week.
Yeah,
it's mad. And when I looked at footy stats, Out of the top 15 players, pretty much four of them are all Dolphins. Like Jack Bostock is like number 11th. Herbie's number 10. People are selling Herbie. Like what the hell? It's just it's mad.
Yeah.
And just the fact that Herbie is in the top 10 is mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
Given the fact that so many teams have been, well, coaches have been trying to rip their teams apart to get him,
Yeah.
and other people are looking to sell him over this round. And again, it's that whole concept that I talked about last week. Sometimes it's better to play short, and my team's a great example. I mean, yeah, I'm so low, I can make ranks from sneezing, but the reality is that you can make ranks still by playing short. So it's not the end of the world. And then some of the teams that are in the top 2K or top 1K in the faithful, they played short and they dropped ranks, but they're talking like somewhere between 100 and 500 rank drop. That is absolutely tiny.
Yeah.
I could only dream of that type of rank drop.
Yeah, it does. I was so scared with 11, but it turned out to not be bad. And I will just say it really made me laugh there when you were like, hold Dolphins. And then when you started speaking, you were giggling the whole time, like trying to hold it back because I noticed the same thing. And to me, it seems so stupid. They have one minor bye and they play the rest of the year period. We knew that before they came into Origin. They're actually the best team to own from, like, say, from around 11 up until the end of Origin. They were the best team. Now they got a minor, and the Tigers are temporarily the best team.
Yeah.
And then it's Dolphins again. So, like, Tigers and Dolphins, there's no way in the world I'd be
No way. Those are the two best teams to own, and then right behind is probably the Raiders. So, if I had those teams, and I had players from those teams, I'd be keeping them.
Yeah, for sure. It seems so dumb to sell Bostock and Herbie right now, especially with round 15 coaches. Just remember that winger, fullback, center is an absolute desert. So there's no reason to trade Dolphins when they play that week.
And just so you know, Isako is number 13 sold right now too.
Okay, I shouldn't laugh because people probably just need to hear us talk about it and then they'll come around. But this is why we say the Origin period separates the men from the boys, because like that play, the idea of selling Herbie Farnworth right now, I'd sell anyone else in my team right now before him. Well, not anyone else, but like, what I'm trying to get at.
Figuratively, yes, I hear you.
Anyway, sells, boys. We'll start here with you, Browny. Sorry, I keep forgetting your name because of that wig.
Just Jamal's fine, bro. Just
Jamal, yeah.
Jamal's fine.
Who's your sell this week?
This is going to be quite controversial. It's actually Big Stefano.
That's not. Yeah, that's a great sell.
So the reason being is that, yes, he's plodding along with 50s, but it's the fact that he's coming up to the end of his tenure in your team. He literally only plays 13, 14, and then he misses the rounds 15 and 18 buys. I think the biggest play this week, if you have the cash, is sell Stefano to get to May. I think that's the best possible option. So,
yeah,
and it really annoyed me. It really annoyed me last week because we had it over the Bulldogs. And they did. They had the momentum. And then as soon as Bellamy took Stefano off for a very long period, the momentum just swung to the Bulldogs. And we had no go forward, no up the middle kind of anything. And Cooper Clark playing 34 minutes as well is absolutely diabolical. So this whole middle rotation with the Storm at the moment, I don't know what's going on. But if Stefano's not even cracking the minutes that we want him to, then I don't think he's even a hold over the next two rounds. Like, he could be. Logically, he could be. If you just want to get a safe 50, like, that's fine. But if you want to go up in the pedigree of a 70 or an 80 with Terrell May, then sell him this week.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why.
He's been one of the most underrated, unnoticed traps of the season. Is Steph. is he's gone up 60 something K since the start of the year. And people have literally held him since round 1 because he didn't have a buy till round 15. And he's never really broken the bank with a score. Like he has maybe once or twice from memory. But when I say break the bank, it's like a 60.
Yeah, he's hitting the 60s. That's it.
He can hit 30s, 40s, and 50s. And it's like, dude, anyone that had Jackson Ford versus Steph to start the season, can you just imagine where the rank difference would be right now? So yeah, I'm fully on the mark of trading him out. I would go as far to say that I'm pretty much okay with anyone that's middling being traded that doesn't play at 15 or 18. Like Lukey is another one I would say is well and truly in the mark for potential sell. But yeah, Steph, fully agree with you, bro. What about you, Kenty? Anything to add there to Big Steph, or who's your sell this week?
Yeah, Steph, I think's a sell, and he's that one that you could still go either way on. You could play him one more week, like I've been saying all potty, because if he gets to a 50, great. It's the last hurrah. Give him a cheers, and then flick him off next week. Get rid of him. So I think you go either way. I think either's great. I think, and I'm pretty keen now this round, and this is where my Walsh play comes in. I'm excited about finally getting rid of 2.
Oh,
So potentially you could play him. He's a green dot, and with where our trades are at, yep, get rid of him. But the reality is that a player that has continued just to kind of sit around that 30 mark is really, really tough. Feels hard to watch. Feels hard to kind of look at other winger fullbacks that just seem to kind of keep outscoring him. And everyone else is going to outscore him because they all play for teams that have won this year. That's really what it comes down to, is that he's just not getting the tries. He's not getting that sort of bump from attacking stats. So basically, it's all on like a few runs here and there, a few line breaks, tackles, tackle breaks, those sorts of things, and that's about it. And so it's mostly his version of base. So it is a really tough player to hold. So if you can even just get him to Ramsey, I would do it. But if you got the cash and you can go to Walsh, I would do it too.
Yeah, no doubt. I can't say that 2 isn't a sell. I'm forced to do a hold this week because I don't have the cover. But yeah, he'd be first on I'd trade him immediately if I had the chance. Doesn't play 15 either, so he's kind of just a weird a gap at the moment. And tell me how many times you're going to be able to pay a Sedu to Reece Walsh for under 200K. That sounds
correct.
insane.
Correct. I mean, it's mad when you put it there, and ultimately too, we can't be upset because he's done his job. He made decent cash for us.
Yeah, for sure. My sell is also a hold. It's a hold sell narrative. It's Tolu Kola. Now it is concerning that he hasn't been named to back up. That's what's forcing me into a Sedu 2 hold right now. If he does get named to back up, I would be holding. So right now they play the first game of the round. There's no one really except Kale Iro that I'm interested in from that first game. So I've just found another way to get Kale Iro in, and I'm hedging my bets here. If I can, if Tolu Kola is a late male rotation into the starting side and he's going to play this week, even in a two-day turnaround from his first game at Origin, I think it's highly unlikely. But if it happens, I will be holding him just for this week. If it doesn't happen, I'll be using him as my sell to possibly Reece Walsh. But ideally, if he backs up, I would love to get rid of Sedu to hit Walsh. So that's kind of the position I'm in right now. But yeah, again, it's more of a trade save play. Tolu Kola, if he's going to play 80 minutes most likely. For the Sea Eagles at centre, if he backs up, they don't typically use a rotation of one of their four bench rotations in the back line, especially at centre. So yeah, it's all hope. If he's a late male rotation, you hold him. If not, you sell him. I'm also not too fast on whether or not you hold or sell, regardless of whether he's playing or not.
And we get 24-hour information tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's well worth, just looking at it at that point before kickoff on Friday. So we've got an extra day up our sleeve. So what we would typically. So no, I think it's a great play.
Yeah, for sure. Your sell, Brownie, is Big Steph. My bad. I already remembered. I got you first. Sucked in. Didn't catch me.
Big Steffi.
Captains, boys. I think we're going to be all on the same page here. Maybe different. I have Toby Couchman as my captain as well. I think, is he your captain by any chance, Brownie? I think I see his name.
I think so. I think so. Yeah.
Cool. So we're all on the same page. So I'd say if we're all looking at Toby Couchman as a potential captain, as a potential, oh my God, I can't talk. As a potential captain, then what are some others? Like I think Terrell May is a good one. Alex Twal is probably someone that you could
consider. Yeah.
I still think Jackson Ford. Barnett not named. Ford's going to get the minutes again. So
yeah. Outside of that, I probably wouldn't captain elsewhere.
No, there's not really any smokies this round.
Too risky. Yeah.
And I wouldn't put the captaincy on Cleary. Like there's every chance that he does back up for sure. Like it's the last game of the round. He has more than enough rest. And I dare say he's probably going to back up this round rather than 16 versus the Wars rather than the Titans. So but just for risk wise, just avoid captaining Cleary this week.
And I reckon the risk is not that does he play. I can almost guarantee that they play. They do this every year.
Yeah,
they come off the bench and then they're a late male rotation. I think it's just so that they get to wear a different number for 1 or 2 rounds a year. But ultimately, so I think he's guaranteed to play. But the other thing to note is that it can sometimes be off the bench. So do you really want your captain playing only half the game? Just for those listeners, the answer is no. So I think it is a very kind of like silly move to do it because you're locking in a player right from the very start of the round. They play last, so it's just dumb. It gives you the opportunity to do a whole raft of things if needed by not having him captained or vice captain.
Yeah, I think it's probably safe to say don't captain anyone that's backing up from Origin, even if they're named as reserves as a late inclusion, even if they've named to be starting. Don't do it because you don't have any guarantee on their game time. So yeah, I think one that people will look at is Kalen Ponga. So that's why I said that. Be careful. Winger fullbacks suck to captain anyway. They're very volatile scorers. But yeah, anyway, moving on. Pods. This is a concession and a victory for Kenty. KPP, I already own him. So I'm more just kind of shouting out that he's the highest averaging edge of the season. Oh, well, he was. I'm not sure if he still is. But he is under 3% owned. And he plays the rest of the Origin period. And I doubt many people are going to target him because they probably still own the likes of Lasardi, Lukey, Rauchman, Tauchman, all of that kind of stuff. So there's no incentive to really push for him. If you need an edge or want to trade the likes of Lasati or Lukey for any reason to someone else, KPP seems like a massive, massive option. My goal at the moment is to, if it makes sense, look for some sort of combination of Hudson Young, Toby Couchman, and KPP for the run home. So, yeah, that's my play. KPP pod. I don't think it needs much talking. He's been a gun this year. We'll start with you here, Brownie, again. Your pod.
I picked him up last week. Did me pretty well. Corey Horsburgh.
Yeah, nice.
Now I know he's Can we clip that, edit that, and just replay it like 5 times?
Yeah, no worries.
If that's okay, please.
Yeah.
Terrific.
Kenty's like, no, guys.
No, it's fine. I just felt like it needed that sort of, like whenever each team, scores, and my boys always love like, oh, what's their sound that, that the teams have. I just felt like he needed his own sound.
Yeah, nice. Okay,
celebration.
Cool. Yes, celebration. Nice.
Well, thank you, Black Caviar. Anyway, so
hardly.
Yes. So yeah, Corey Horsburgh.
No, that's an awkward sounding horse.
Yeah,
you must be going down this week.
Anyway, so 57 last week. I did really well. landed on that shoulder, which was a bit odd. They said that he had some injections into it. So I don't think it's a massive AC issue at this point in time because he's been named and he finished the game really, really well. Now, I know he doesn't play round 18. That's the only thing. But, I mean, if you need a mid this week and you can't afford up to the likes of, say, a Terrell May or even a Joey Tarpanay, I would really consider Horsburgh as an option for sure.
Yeah.
So that is why.
Sorry for laughing there. I wasn't laughing at Horse. Amy's just talking to me like, oh, it's normal. We're talking. I'm like, I'm recording. And she's not. That's all coming through. We're talking eyelashes and makeup, probably. I wasn't listening. I was more concerned about, oh my God, I'm recording. This is my editing time. I'm going to have to watch Origin 2 times tonight.
Sorry, fellas.
Oh, okay. Okay. She wants to join the potty. She wants to be famous, boys, like us.
Hi, there she is.
Yeah. Who would you captain?
Let's go.
Who would I captain?
Yeah.
Nathan Cleary.
Yeah. Oh. She's 120K rank, fellas.
I like it when Joe mutes himself.
She goes, don't put that in there. I went, so I'm definitely slowing that part down and keeping
it. Nice to see you all. See you later.
Yeah.
Yeah, you too.
Anyway, boys. So pods. Horse, I agree with. He is a pod I wouldn't chase now because I've already got the mid things and I need Taylor May. But I also think it's the same value that you get from KPP. It's that no one's going to really target him. So if you can get into him and he does start to skyrocket, got a point of difference. Yeah. Anyway, Kenty, who are you getting into? Who are you getting into out of the boys?
Okay, clearly I'm the more mature one of the three.
I knew as soon as I said it, I was like, oh.
I think KL Aero.
Nice.
So people are needing centres for sure. And I think people are getting hung up on the fact that he's at price. Yes, we know. We know he's expensive. We know he already kind of made the cash that you're probably going to make from him already. Yep, for sure. But what you are getting is a player that is looking to become a little bit more solid. He's looking like he's scoring kind of more around that 50 mark a little bit more consistently now. And his cover is crazy good. And he's a perfect match for our other centres that we have. So I think he's a screaming buy. He's awesome to have. And yeah, a lot of people are thinking, oh, he's maybe not really a season keeper. I beg to differ. I actually do think that he is a great backup through the run home as well. Yeah. So he's still a player that I would be considering as he's a season keeper. I don't see him as someone that you would need to dump and to go and grab someone else. So for me, I think he's an awesome buy. And he's been someone else that I've been looking at either for this week or next.
Yeah. Now, I might have cheated here because I said he was a mid-ranger. He's about 634K, so I've really pushed the boundaries on what a mid-ranger is. But yeah, he's definitely for sure. But yeah, I agree. There's other parts I'd add to that too. Sharks are virtually untouched. Well, I got Brayley and Adam Blake out, but they've got more than enough firepower to replace that. They're against Origin depleted sides. I think Kale Ero strikes in the Origin period. There's 2 points I'd add on to that. Sharks had a buy-in round 9. They just had the buy-in round 12, and they have a buy-in round 17. So they actually have a free run home from 18 to 27, which is huge benefit there. And
also the other attacking players that are returning.
Yeah.
Huge for him.
Yeah. And if worst case scenario, move him to Latrell Mitchell in the run home. You know, like if worst case scenario, he starts to deplete, he's not hitting the mark. We look for these players over the Origin period too, especially if you've made your money already. Like if you include my current team value plus my spare salary, I'm at 14.3 million. So I've already done a lot of the legwork in the lead up to the Origin phase. Sometimes buying into someone that's just going to hold their value is great over this period too. So yeah, Kale Ero is an amazing buy, no doubt. Yes, we've all done our pods. Great. Mid-rangers, I've kind of just done mine. I cheated. I don't really have anyone else that's really on my mark in terms of mid-ranger. You could probably argue that's where you'd put Reece Walsh as well. So, yeah. I don't know.
I had Walshy there for a bit.
Did you? Yeah. Well, who's yours then? Is it still Walsh?
No, I've got Walsh as risky, just purely from the origin side of things. But I think Jock Madden is a huge shout. I think lots of coaches are looking for half cover. And I think had Hines not gone down, he'd be one of the highest traded in players this round. And he was someone I'd been eyeing off for the last couple of rounds, trying to fix my half route. And yeah, essentially, I've kind of gone the long way around. Bought Boyd, sold Boyd, bought TMM. Glad I don't need to sell TMM this week, but yeah, it's been real messy. And it's looking like Jock Madden has now got a runway through to around 18, 19, is what the club is saying that Dewey is looking at, like he's going to be back. So Dewey's recovery is obviously going pretty badly. And so I think Jock Madden is going to end up doing everything. Because you know what Luai does? He runs sideways and backwards. Jock will run straight and kick. So he'll get a whole lot of points.
Yeah, I was going to say, I couldn't remember exactly what injury it was for Dewey, but I'm pretty sure it was shoulder, this one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Now, I think this is where we've got to be really cautious, is the same thing that's happened to Adam Dewey is the same thing we've seen happen to Toby Couchman, is the same thing we've seen happen to Taylor May. I actually would go as far to say these kind of injuries, you just stay away from them. Like the fact that Taylor May's already had it, he had the layoff, he's had it again, and now he's looking to avoid surgery a second time to come back in 4 weeks. I could nearly say with certainty within 3 weeks he's going to pop it again, and then he'll get surgery. So yeah, Adam Dewey's in the same situation. So I say Jock Madden now is a great investment because he doesn't miss any more buys over the origin phase. And then if something does happen to Dewey and he comes back and he's gone again, well, Jock Madden is definitely.
Yeah. And we all saw how great he's been playing. Like that game when I watched him live against the Wars, he was absolutely insane. So yeah, I would hard out 100%.
I've looked him this week.
Yeah, jump there.
Nice. What about you, Brownie? Who's your mid-ranger? Latrell Mitchell?
Yeah, that's it. I've actually got Jesse Ramian. And I've only got Ramian because he's kind of like the counterpart to Iro in the sense that if you can't afford someone top tier in centers this week, like Ramian kind of fits that mold as like the typical kind of mid-ranger that could get you through these tricky buy rounds. He's averaging, what is it? High 30s, mid 30s. Sorry. He's averaging 36.8 this season. And typically he does average that high 30s, low 40s kind of area. But interestingly enough, he's only had 2 tries and 1 assist in all the games he's played this season. So these points that he's getting, where he's just getting like mid to high 30s in games, he only needs a try assist or a try to really boost him into that kind of high 40s, even mid 50s category in scoring. So that's why I don't mind him as a bit of a play. He's super pottish. He's very, very low ownership. And I don't know, I just kind of like the look of him. I know with Hines being out, Ramian's on Hines' side. So that could deter from him a little bit because obviously they might focus on Trindle's side more, being Iro. But I still think he's a decent enough option.
Yeah, he hasn't been someone on my radar, but I've got the money to get into the next tier above. So yeah, I don't know. I personally wouldn't go there, but there's worse options. I think he would have been far highly targeted last week with the debacle that the centers presented. I would think if the Sharks were playing, Jesse Ramian would have been someone people chased after. But yeah, with the mid-range options, I wouldn't say Ramian is not in the scene. That's for sure. He's definitely someone to consider. Previously, like a 600K center. So he's got the pedigree for sure. What about you, Kenty? Oh, you've done your mid-ranger, and I didn't have one. I don't know what's going on today. I can't seem to keep a bloody grip. Anyway,
Well, it's because you keep throwing us under the bus on with the faithful.
you been the faithful, Brownie?
No, I haven't.
I just
Oh.
got a notification. Everyone, look how Brownie showed up to the podcast. Filthy Queenslander.
Where is this?
I can't tell you where it is because it didn't happen.
He's too busy, trying to do two things at once, which he's proven he can't do. The
Brownie?
multitask.
Yeah, the multitask. Look, I'm trying to practice. It's not working. I'll not to keep my computer active, my other computer. Anyway, moving forward, fellas, cheapies. Mine is Tamari Martin, and I'd also link this to the mid-range center wing fullback issue. If you're someone that isn't confident in like the mid-range for center or wing fullback right now, you want something a bit more stable like a Nero, the cheapie market is the perfect place to be. There's actually a lot on offer. Makasini, Ramsey, Tamari Martin is by far the best in my opinion. I'd say he's just in there. He was come in borderline 250k. I'm pretty sure it was right on 250k.
Yeah, 250.
Scored a 50 in a game he played 70 minutes of. He backed up the next week with a 72. He's got a minus 23 break even. He's been named again this week, but Luke Metcalf is in the reserves. So that gives me a bit of worry. But if you already own, great. But I think he's a cheapie to definitely consider. Even a one game out of him, he scores another 55 to 65. He makes you 100k in 1 week. So just take it to the bank. Is cheapie of the week for me. I'm so glad I took the punt last week because now with no Nico Hines, he's the best cover. So I'd say that's the play. If you're looking for a half this week to fill the void because Nico Hines isn't backed up, you might own Isaiah Katoa. He's on the bye. Nathan Cleary. Oh, is he going to be named to return and you're not sure? Tamari Martin, slip him in, get the cash in the bank. Kale Hero in the centers would be the play I'd definitely consider for a lot of coaches this week. But Kenty, you're cheapie.
Yeah, I think the other thing too is if you're going to compare and you've got a bit of cash, I would still go Madden over because Madden's on a 31 break even. He's still got money to make as well. Yes, it's not going to be as prolific as TMM, but I do just think that the TMM play, it was last week, if not at all. So I have him as a risky. I don't have him as a cheapie. Because I just think the risk is super high. All the talk here in New Zealand is what's a championship half pairing for the Wars, and it's not CHT TMM. It's not. They are both fantastic support players, but they don't have that extra, spice. They definitely don't have that extra spice that we're currently seeing on Brownie's head. So
No one has that spice.
that ultimately is Metcalf.
Well, I would add to that though. There's a narrative here that I'm really playing into, and I think it's that we all remember in preseason. Like I was pretty high on him. Then that died off. Well, we all were pretty high on him. It was basically like if Tamari Martin's named to start at halfback, you buy him. But all reports were suggesting that he was leading for the halfback job, that he was going to beat Tanner Boyd. Then he broke his leg. So Tanner Boyd got in incredible form. Tamari Martin's been recovering. He gets named back in extended bench, 6-man bench. Tanner Boyd goes down injured ACL against the Broncos at Suncorp Stadium at Magic Round. Tamari Martin comes in 70 minutes, leads them to victory. Backs up the next week, leads them to victory. Comes in against the Panthers this week. If he leads alongside Chanel Harris-Tavita, the Warriors to victory over the Panthers, granted that there is a chance they'll be a bit weaker or people won't back up, like you know what Ivan's been like this week. But regardless, Tamari Martin comes in and wins. I don't see any incentive to take him out. And I'd actually argue that I actually think Tamari Martin and Chanel Harris-Tavita fit a really strong mold for what is desired in a lot of modern half combinations. Like Tamari Martin and Chanel Harris-Tavita fit the Waz style of play perfectly. They're kind of eyes
for sure. And I think for now, over this part of the season, it's fine. It's great. But as you start getting to the pointy end of the season and particularly playoffs, when you're playing against other teams who have got amazing players, Matty Johns was saying the other day, okay, your team's down by 10 or even by 4. You've got 20 minutes left of a knockout playoff game. If you're at the Broncos, I know who's going to be demanding the ball. If you're at the Roosters, I know who's going to be demanding the ball. You know, we all know what would happen at the Panthers.
Yeah.
Who's that player at the Wars? And the reality is when it comes to that sort of a moment, both of those boys, and look, I'm a Wars fan through and through, but they're more middle. They're a middle type player that is not the dominant half. That's not been their role. I don't think it will ever be their role. They are excellent, excellent additions to a dominant half, and we've seen how good they can be. But even Te Maire Martin, when he plays for the Kiwis, he's never the dominant half.
Yeah.
And the reality is they're not that. And if we are left with those two in that sort of scenario, I would say we are in a messy situation that we were never planning to be in. The only way that we win that is if we have got a massive lead or a lead. Doesn't even have to be that massive, but just that we lead and we control the game from the start.
I just saw enough from that Wars Dragons game.
Yeah.
Like those 2 tries he got, they were just...
It shouldn't have.
That shouldn't have happened. Like that was just woeful defense from the Dragons. Like Gutherson, should be sacked over that deplorable freaking defense.
Totally agree.
It showed to me like, yeah, he scored those 2 tries, but as Kenty
scored a great try against the Broncos as well at Magic Ground.
Yeah,
but again, that wasn't him.
Yeah,
but there's I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they're going to bring Metcalf back. He's just signed with the Dragons.
I think they will. He's been signed. Oh, sorry, he's been named to play 5'8" in New South Wales Cup.
Yeah,
which means they're going to give him 1 week game fitness to obviously get back to some sort of standard. And I think he will be back in the Wars lineup as of next week, being the number 7.
See, I think that's what's going to kill the Wars season.
But it won't be next week because we've got the bye. That's another reason why I think, and sorry, I'm not meaning to be picky at all, Brownie. I think the reason why it's going to happen is he's now going to be given 2 weeks to basically get his fitness up to scratch, and then he gets named in round 15 is where I see it. And that's why I kind of felt like, okay, if I'm going TMM last week, I get a 2-week run. I can make 150, 160K, hopefully, maybe. And then, he's trade bait, or he can languish somewhere down the bottom and then just kind of play it out and see what happens. But the reality is I really don't think he's going to get named when it comes to round 15.
So I'll add on to that because I got a theory here. If you say with no Metcalf, that let's say you didn't say this verbatim, but for lack of going into it in too much depth, that there's no X factor. There's no one that's like, who's going to give me the ball in a do or die game.
Yeah.
How are they ever going to develop who that is if they just go and throw Metcalf in there? Because they've got nothing next year. It's still going to be exactly what they got now. So if they throw Metcalf in, all they're really doing is delaying any sort of chemistry development or team guidance until next year, where they're just going to have to restart it.
It's still going to happen because he was still training and being a part of it all. It was even in Magic Round, he was still being developed that whole week, and he came out and said, I hadn't taken too much notice. And then so basically I just kind of did my core roles. But the reality is they're still developing him. They've just signed him again for an extended period of time. They know he's still an integral part to the team. The reality is that you don't then write off probably our best chance of a deep run into the finals that we've had for years and years, just to develop someone you have. You've got Metcalf, who's leaving. Grind him into the dirt. Just use him as hard as you possibly can. Use him as much as you can. And get as much out of him as much as you can. And basically, if he is our best route to making a grand final, you would do it every time. You wouldn't sacrifice that opportunity this year just in the name of development.
Yeah. there is the argument too that the reason why we haven't really seen any form from Metcalf is because he hasn't played the number 7 role that he dominated in 2025. So I guess there's that side of it too. I don't know. There's part of this where I just want Tamari Martin to be the guy. I think the way the game is, the speed of the game, I just feel like Tamari Martin and Chanel Harris to beat her. Like if they come in and win against the Panthers this week, let's say, in a dominant fashion, would you want to change it then in round 15 to put Luke Metcalf back?
I don't think you would. I think you're right. I think they would play the hot hand, and that's what happened with Boyd. They played the hot hand. And because the reality was Metcalf was coming off an injury. He was short of a gallop. He didn't look great. And so they played the hot hand, and then he threw his toys like a good Cronulla boy and left. So ultimately, that hasn't sat well with Kiwis at all, because we have been so used to watching the All Blacks where there is always 2, 3, 4 fantastic players in every position. And if you lose your position, you fight your ass off to get back into the team. And that's how, the Kiwi way. You fight to get back in. You don't, throw your toys and walk away. So that hasn't sat well with Kiwis at all, because that's not what we've been brought up on, and it's not who we are as a country.
Yeah.
I just think going to last week, if Waz versus top 4 side, they don't look as good, and Tamari Martin is nowhere near as influential.
I'd agree.
Interesting. Well, we'll see how this plays out, boys.
Yeah, and it's going to be very interesting.
It's what I love about this game is that, like, we can say whatever we want.
Yeah.
And at the end of the week, it's like, what's going to happen,
Yeah.
And I think we're all pretty well established in that we say what we believe to be true right now. But if it turns out next week that we're wrong, like, I think I've got enough history in this business to know that I'll put my hand up and be like, oh, well, I was hopeful, like I was right, but I might stuff up, anyway. Payne Haas 2025, if no one remembers, I was pretty vocal about him. And anyway, I take it.
I don't remember that at all. Did you have an opinion?
Oh yeah, that mind wipe worked then. That's great. Now cheapies, we spent a lot of time on TMM. I think we then went back to Jock Madden. Where are you guys sitting with cheapies?
I've got Macassini.
Thought so.
Simply for the fact that he's back at centre, which scoring base is better. We saw that game on the wing. He was absolutely diabolical. So I think centre is his better scoring position. Now it's just a case of whether he can uplift to a next level is what I want to see. I think with the buy round coverage, he's safe enough to get at his price. I know he's going to break even in the 30s, but 30. we saw his natural talent in the trials. We've seen it in spurts across this season. He just needs to put it together for a whole game, and I reckon you could see him scoring into the 50s. That's the type of young guy he is. He reminds me of like a young Izzy Folau. He's just got that natural talent, and he just needs to put it together. So
it's a confidence thing for him.
Yeah, and it's just going to be a matter of time. It is a big matter of time for him. And when he gets it clicking and when he gets it going, everyone's going to want to own him.
Yeah.
So I think in this buy period, while he's at a cheap price, yes, there is some risk factor because of his low scoring output historically through this season. But I think he is a safe enough cheapie to invest in just to give you that cover.
Would you consider waiting just 1 week just to see if that, because even if he scores a 45, he's still around the same price. If not, you could potentially get him in the 200K bracket.
You could if you had centre cover. So,
right. So, it's
for example, right, I've only got Chester and Herbie.
Yeah, right.
So I'm like, man, I need a centre. So I'm tossing up all these guys. I don't want to aim up to the high echelon of a KL Hero. Yeah. I don't want to do that. I don't want my squad to play around that at this point in time. I'm looking just for a simple enough plug and play type of dude. And that's why I'm like, man, Macassini's cheap. His role's secure. He just needs a bit of confidence under his belt to really get him going. And he just needs that one breakout game where it's kind of like, okay, he's here. Like this is the Macassini we wanted to see. So that's why I'm like, man, I might just take the punt now. And man, Tigers have an awesome awesome Origin buy coverage.
Yeah, literally no more missed games. I think you sold it pretty well there. If you need a center and you're not willing or even not able to get up into that upper echelon, it's a cash out. Worst case scenario.
Yeah. I would see him as a cash out.
Yeah, and he's 18% owned, so a lot of coaches have just held through the pain of it.
Yeah.
While you've skipped it. So if you're buying in now as a cash out for cover, you're kind of getting the ultimate benefit, really, is how I'd see it. Your cheapie, Kenty. Did we go over yours? I don't think we did.
No. I've got either Ramsey or Sutton as options sitting there in the cheapie zone. So I don't think either of them are going to light the house on fire right now, but they've got a bit of a runway. Ramsey potentially gets us through round 15 because there's talk that even once Mark comes back onto the wing, which is where Ramsey's been playing, he's likely to play fullback for Teddy. So, he's a great number for round 15 if you need it. I'm also like Macassini, I'm seeing him more as a cash out rather than cover. And if he plays 15, excellent. But again, I'm trying not to buy too heavily right now for round 15 because who knows what can happen. So I'm seeing it more like that.
Yeah, and again, that's a perfect thing to say right now, because the reason why you guys are looking at the idea of, say, a Cody Ramsey or a Macassini isn't because they cover round 15. It's because they offer cash out value, and then they just happen to cover 15. So you're not targeting them for a specific purpose in the future. There's actually real utility in getting them now.
Yeah, and I'd be using trade bait like a Cooper buy, Setu 2, those kinds of guys. Or a 1 up, 1 down scenario.
Yeah, agreed. Well, avoids. I'm going to go again more generalized. Do not buy anybody that is stepping in for an Origin player. Don't do it. Dane Laurie at lock looks. What is this? It's like, oh, that's appealing. Morgan Smithies and Adam Mariota are both on the bench. I can almost guarantee that if there's not a late male rotation into Laurie being on the 6-man bench, he will not play big minutes in the lock role. Plus, it's Ricky Stewart. So just be kept cautious there. He will make changes one week. It'll be different the next week. He'll revert back to the original plan the following week, and then there'll be something completely different the week after. Ricky Stewart is not a coach you trust with picks like this. But just generally speaking, don't buy anyone that's backing up for an Origin player because they will not stay.
Totally.
You guys, do you have anyone to add to that, or are you both on the same level there?
Very much same level. And, like, for example, I've already seen quite a few people buying in Puru, who is covering for Hines. Again, just don't do it. I think that's an absolute shocking call that's going to kill you even further. And then I've also, watching different teams who are still seeing Garrick as an option. Again, I would see him as a massive avoid. I just wouldn't go there.
And Niwai Puru, I think that's how you pronounce it. He isn't just being bought by a couple of people. He's at 5.1%.
It's huge.
That's insane. Like I when I seen that when I was doing team list analysis and stuff yesterday, I was like, what? Why are people buying this guy? Like, is there news about Hines? I don't know. But definitely on the avoid list. What about you, Brownie? Are you kind of on the same narrative, or you got a name that you want to throw up?
Yeah, I've got Ronald Volkman, simply for the fact that Moses is obviously going down an Origin camp. He's only going to be out for 3 to 4 weeks, they're saying. So Volkman being like that plug and play type of dude in the half, like no doubt he's going to score pretty well. He's going to get the kick meters. He's been scoring all right. He's beginning try assists, but it's just that short term kind of coverage that like you don't really want to depend on, I guess.
You've got Jonah Pezzett too coming back very soon.
Well, apparently he's re-injured his hamstring.
But the whole thing's messy, like
very messy.
Is Papali'i, he's being shifted there this week. Is he now there for the next foreseeable future? We haven't really been told much about Pezzett, and so it's that feeling of, is it Toby Couchman from last week all over again, but just with a different name? It's that whole half positioning in the Eels is messy as.
Yeah.
So just too much risk. So
Well, in terms of risk, we're up to the risky category. I have got I would say a controversial one in Jacob Carraz. I think you guys know what angle I'm going to come at here. He doesn't play 15 or 18. He has actually got quite a poor history at fullback outside of that big bumper game last week. I'm not saying he's not going to have better form. Like, he looked brilliant last week, no doubt. If you bought him, you're laughing. But what is going to happen if you buy him now? Think of it as if it wasn't Jacob Carraz and if it was Suafa-Longo. Would you buy Suafa-Longo this week if you didn't own? The answer would be likely no. Would you buy Jacob Carraz this week if you didn't own? All of a sudden, people are yes. Well, you're going to overcapitalize with him. So in round 15, centre wing fullback is already difficult enough to cover. So if you want to buy the likes of Kale Iro, Makasini, Ramsey, Bostock, you've already got Herbie. Got to remember, we don't have Chester, we don't have Teddy, you don't have Fa'alongo, you don't have Carraz, you don't have Ponga. All of a sudden, you're now buying into somebody that you're just going to need to spend another trade for anyway. I think the way to summarize Carraz is brilliant buy, wrong time. Is why I think he's just too risky. I would love him right now with the position that he's in, but I'm not buying because it doesn't help me down the track. And I think I'd just be making a bigger problem.
I think also consider, when did he actually start playing a whole lot better from fullback? And that was when the Storm kind of fell asleep.
Yeah.
So when the Storm were dominating, and then even when they weren't, but they were still ahead in that first half, he really wasn't doing all that much.
Yeah.
He was, basically just base. And then when he kind of threw all those offloads and did a whole lot more, that was when, the Storm shut down in that second half. So ultimately, is that going to happen every game? No. And a big reason, I think, and Browny and I were talking about this the other day, is it helped massively that he went to fullback because he suddenly had ball. He was actually given a whole bunch of ball. As soon as he moves back to the wing, we've got the same problem that Browny and I owned at the start of this season, which is, yes, he's looking a little bit better, but he's still heavily strapped. So at any point, something could go wrong. And then secondly, he was still playing outside of Sherry. And we just watched a game where Sherry hogged the ball every single time. And you could say, yep, he's going to potentially score like those wingers scored against the Storm, which was like in their 40s. But that's basically just at his price. And I don't see the point in buying someone at their price that doesn't play 15, 18. It doesn't benefit you. It doesn't give you anything. Other than a hole in the head, because damn, is that annoying to watch and such a hard watch. And Brownie and I faced that at the start of the season. So it's tough, man.
And he is the highest traded in player this week.
Yeah.
He's the target. So I just think, okay, if that's the way you want to go, well done. But those players are, I can almost guarantee the coaches that chase Jacob Carraz are spending one trade on a center wing fullback this week. They'll be spending another one in the next couple of weeks to make sure that they have their cover. Meanwhile, I don't think every single coach is planning for round 15 the way that we are. Bought Jack Bostock last week, already owned Herbie. So the play is kind of like, okay, I got Bostock in for a bit of value. And then now I'm buying Kale Iro, and there's someone that could potentially be a keeper. Then next week I might look at it as a cash out from Sedu 2, let's say, into a Marcassini or a Ramsey. All the time I'm doing it so that it's of immediate benefit to my team. But they all cover round 15 instead of having 4 trades, and I'm just going to spend 4 center wing fullback trades in round 15 to cover the round. I think that it really, really lacks foresight, and I think a lot of coaches, especially this year, are going to come undone by not planning properly. I think it's
I'm stoked people are targeting him. I already am.
Me too.
So I think it actually benefits us.
Yeah, you can get the rank gain now, but every trade that you spend chasing rank gain now is lack of flexibility and rank gain in the run home. And I can almost guarantee, I'm not sure off the top of my head what your guys' team value is, but as I said, with the 600 and something K, for a 14.3 million, I'll probably be around 15 by the run home. And then by the time we get to round 27, I'm literally trading when I want to for who I want to. Well, these coaches that blow all their trades before the end of Origin can't do anything. So you might make the rank gains now, but I'm still inside the top 2K and I will catch you by the end of the season. It's kind of the mentality I'm running with. So, yeah, save your trades. Jake Carraz has played one good game all year. It's probably the best to summarize
exactly
it. Yeah. Your risky, Brownie. Sorry. Yeah, risky, was it? Have we already done our riskies, all of us?
Yeah, no. My risky was Tamari Martin.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember one.
Yeah, and I had my riskies were Carraz, TMM, and Walsh.
Yeah, true. Well, then watchers. I know me and you're on the same one here, Brownie, and it's Payne Haas. And I'm very much on the same train. If Payne Haas is fit, he will be in Origin 2. Do not buy him at all. Plus, he's got a 99 break even. This guy is going, there's a very real chance we could see Payne Haas in the 600K bracket. It's like, wow. If he comes out and scores a 50 this week, his break even is going to be monstrous again the following week. And he's basically 740K. So a 600K Payne Haas, thank you very much. Play Origin, get rested, have your 99 break even, drag it all the way through until round 19, round 20, and I will buy you at a premium price in the run home. There is no incentive to buy Payne Haas right now. And I say that, and he's the 8th most traded in player this week. So there is just mistakes across the board for the general fantasy player this season. And I think it's going to catch a lot of people out.
But it's the same mistakes that you see in day traders. It's the same mistakes that you see in sports betting. It's fear and greed. So what it is that people fear that they're not going to get the player that puts on a big score, or that they know that this player has got previous history of being awesome. And so they've got massive FOMO. They don't want to miss it. And so then they go and do the wrong thing. They spend money that they ideally don't have or shouldn't, and then they spend trades that they don't have either. All because of fear and greed. If you can keep those two things under control by being way more calculated, essentially just be James Bond, like just think calculated. He's on a 99 break even. And side note, I wish NRL just bumped that to 100 because that would have been wicked. And essentially just watch and enjoy watching him and enjoy, the spectacle, because it's going to be great. But yeah, you're not wrong. He's going to end up in Origin. He's going to lose massive money. And then all you're doing is you may as well just throw that trade away.
100%. If just so coaches know, if he averages 60 for the next 3 rounds collectively, 60 every single week, he goes down to 708K. So just be aware of what you're buying into. You're buying into a money funnel. He's going to take money away from you when all you're trying to do right now is keep maintaining as much cash gen as possible so that your final 2 cash outs give you the most amount of money possible to buy the best guns in the run home. Like, don't be silly with it. Payne Haas is not a buy yet. 15% ownership is crazy. I think it's...
Again, I'm stoked.
Yeah. Again, I'm happy. And that's, competitive versions of ourselves are obviously happy seeing these mistakes. But from a general fantasy content creator trying to help people, like if you happen to be one of the coaches in here listening to us, trying to tell you where the mistakes are, avoid them. Even if we're wrong to a degree, even if Payne Haas comes out and scores a 70, he plays Origin in round 15, and if he's healthy for 2, he's healthy for 3. So 15 and 18, he doesn't play. He scores a 70 this week. He still loses cash, still has a high break even the following week. So there's no utility in buying him. But
I wanted to chuck in Iongi there as well.
Nice.
Because I think just watching him return to a bit of form, he's coming back from that injury. He's played a couple of games in cup level, so he should be back to full match fitness, which is good to see, coming back against the Knights as well. So a test straight off the bat for him.
Eels play 15, hey?
Yeah, they play 15 and 18. Ooh. So I think he's going to be a pretty hot commodity come round, probably next round even, 14, 15. So I'm going to be eyeing him off as a purchase.
The Rock. Kenty just shifts into the Rock.
Got Popeye over here.
Yeah, sorry.
So yeah, I think he's going to be a pretty good shout come round 15 for sure.
Yeah, I'd agree. I love that shot. Great.
And
Well,
we don't
fellas.
have enough Eels players. We don't.
Well, do we
there's
need?
There's none really.
Well,
So
One other player I want to shout out is Coruscant as a watch, just
Nice.
purely as a fan, as well as I know that we are going to be struggling for a hooker when it comes to round 18.
Yeah.
So I think he's a potential. Now, I'm not saying that you would just get him for that one round, but say something goes wrong, Pascoe goes down, Brady goes down, that sort of a thing. There's the option.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't mind that either.
Will not happen, Kenty.
I know.
They will be fully
God
fit
forbid.
and healthy.
God forbid. But all I'm saying is that he's someone to keep on your radar.
For sure. Well, fellas, we're moving into the most anticipated part of the show where Jamal tells us his bets for the week. Oh, sorry, his picks for the week in terms of I've forgotten what the bloody word
Tipping.
Tipping. That's it.
Tips.
There we go.
Tipping.
There we go. Tipping. You can tell I don't play it.
Tipping.
Yeah. Let us hear it.
All right. So starting off.
Sorry, Jamaican accents only.
No, not going to do that.
And that's how we get cancelled.
Yeah, I want our Caribbean followers to at least be pretty happy. Anyway, so Sharks Seagulls. I've got Sharks. Even though Nico's out, I think their forward pack's just going to be a little bit too strong. I think Ola Kawatu backing up from Origin 2 days later. Even if he gets named, I don't think he's going to be as influential as per normal. So I'm going to go the Sharks in that one, in a pretty tight one. Knights Eels, I'm going to give it to Knights pretty easily. I think no Moses, that team just falls apart diabolically. So Knights in an easy one. Tigers Bulldogs, I've actually got West Tigers.
Yeah.
I think Twal coming back into the mix. I think Luai, Madden steering the ship. I know Bulldogs played really well last week against that Storm, against the Storm for that kind of like the 50-minute period that we saw, where they were just dominant. But I think the Tigers get it over them. Storm Roosters, I am going to back the boys in. I'm going to back the Storm. I think there's too many lessons not to be learnt from last week. Once again, the narrative all season, our second halves let us down. I don't know what the drop-off is, but sooner or later there's going to be some point where it's kind of like cut the crap, like just show up in a second half. So I hope they do that against the Roosters.
I honestly think it's fitness.
It is fitness, 100%. So look, I'll back the boys in this week, but if Roosters win, I'm not going to be shocked. I'll just say that.
They can't lose 3 in a row. They just can't.
Yeah, okay. Broncos, Dragons. I'm going to go Broncos. I think Haas returning, Walsh, like they've got nearly a full strength team back, which is good to see. We're just waiting on a few like Jensen and Mariner, etc. But Dragons have been absolutely diabolical. So Broncos easy. Raiders, Cowboys. I'm actually going to go the underdog in this one. I'm going to go Cowboys. I think they played very, very well against the Rabbitohs last week. Raiders did all right against the Dolphins, but still there's just something missing there. And I know they're getting their forward pack kind of back to nearly 100%. Like they still got some key figures out. But I think Cowboys will get the bickies in that one. And Panthers Wars, I'm very sorry, Kenty, but I'm going to have to go Penrith.
Interesting. I've tipped the Wars for that one.
Same.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like Wars did awesome last week against the Dragons. But as I said earlier, I think if they versed a top 4 team, it would have been a very, very tight contest. And I think if you're coming up against the juggernaut of the NRL, being Penrith.
Yeah. I do think that Wars have that problem, that sometimes they can be on again, off again. But I don't know. I feel like they've got what it takes. No Cleary. Cogger in the halves. Like, I don't. It is the
I
Panthers though. Yeah,
I think Cleary's going to play.
yeah.
He's
yeah.
leading Dally M. He's. I think he wants it this year,
Yeah,
hands down. So I think if he's going to get the chance to play, he will play.
true.
Round 16, I think he'll be out versus the Titans. But I think if it's a close matchup and they're coming up against a respectful and someone they should be wary of being the Wars, I think Cleary will back up.
Smart man would always say Panthers for sure. I just think one thing to consider is that we happen to be their bogey team. We seem to be able to get up over them every now and again, more often than a lot of other teams. Ultimately, if it is really tight and it's close, you are going to still probably back Panthers with Cleary, but you just don't know what the Warriors could pull off, and I've got no reason to not back them. Because something I was impressed with last week, even though we looked scrappy at times and all the rest, is we soaked up all of that momentum that the Dragons came in with. They scored that brilliant try through 2, and everything was really against us. And then we went down 3 players, and at different times we were looking really scrappy, but it's our ability to kind of get back up for each other, to back each other, and to do something that we haven't been able to do for many, many years, and that's to kind of fight, scrap, and tear our way back into a lead, and then assert dominance after that, I think is something that's quite new for the Warriors. And it's very refreshing for us fans to finally see that. So that's something that I want to see. Even if we lose, I still want to see that same spirit and that same fight, because in a playoff game, anything can happen. If you have that type of warfare for each other in the game.
Yeah. And I think Brownie and I can both join forces with you in that we watched the Wars play at Magic Round and the atmosphere was insane.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel that spirit of the Wars.
I just wanted to buy a Wars jersey just to be a part of it.
Dude,
yeah.
Okay.
It was freaking insane.
I was getting chills. I'm like, whoa, I haven't had this feeling in years.
Yeah, literal goosebumps. I was just like,
yeah.
All right.
Kenty missed out.
Done. There are some jerseys on the way.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we can actually express what it was like to sit in front of 50,000 fans at Suncorp with the Wars going off. You can only say what half of that feels like at Mount Smart.
oh,
Nah, just kidding. But the way Kenty describes Mount
I ignored
Smart,
it the first time, and then the second time when he had to go again.
so you're going to buy it back. He doesn't buy it, does he?
No, he doesn't. No. Calm, cool, collected, like James Bond.
Yeah.
Nice. Now, boys, I want to move into one last part here. And we know what we're going on about. That's it, baby. I reckon bring Nico Hines back at halfback, because my guess, New South Wales 1-12. I actually think this game will be under 40 points scored. First try scorer is Hudson Young for me.
Ooh. It is going to be a very, very interesting match because of that whole concept of it. It's the first time in history that both teams have a new half.
Yeah.
So that's going to be very interesting. The other interesting thing to note in that same stat line is that New South Wales have never won when they've got a new half.
Yep.
So just, consider that.
Never mind the fact that you have a new winger in Kolar.
Yeah.
Like, wingers are heaps.
So, you know what? The same thing can be said for both teams. Like, we've got Fafita debuting. They've got Kolar debuting. You got Strange debuting. We've got Walker debuting. Like, it's pretty rare to see so many debutants, I guess, starting on the big stage. And then you got obviously the inclusion of guys like Britt Nickera, Victor Radley, Aiden Fanor-Blake. You got guys who are coming in who have never played Origin before. So I think emotions are going to be at an all-time high. But if I was a betting man, which I am, gamble responsibly. And I think I'm going to go Queensland tonight. I'm going to go 1-12. I'm going to go anytime try scorer. I'm going to go Kalen Ponga. I think his form is absolutely electric. And I'm going to put man of the match. I'm going to go Maxi Plath.
Maxi Plath. Oh, I like that shout. I
Man
like
of the
it.
match,
He's
Maxi
he's
Plath.
pumped. He is pumped for
He's
this
gonna
game.
rip in. His first ever Origin,
Yeah.
playing at lock. He's going to rip in. I'm expecting 40 plus tackles with over 120 meters run.
We also can't overstate just the difference that I think for the Maroons, Jai Arrow being in camp is going to make.
Oh, bro, yeah.
Because, I'm talking about like playing for each other from the Wild's perspective and all the rest of that. There's something about the Maroons jersey that it does for those players. It galvanizes them way more than just about any jersey in the game. And I think the fact that Jai Arrow was there during the week, I think that's going to be absolutely massive for them. And I think, if we end up down at any point during the game or whatever, adversity, momentum shifts, all that, I think that is going to be massive, whatever they've done with him this week.
Yeah.
So,
man, and it's that emotional connection as well.
Yeah.
Like they know what he's going through, what he's going to face. And just touching on that, just a bit of an emotional topic for the listeners is that my wife's nana passed away Sunday night due to MND. Sucky shit disease. So yeah, I know what Jai Arrow is going to be going through, and it's shit. So all I can say on that is fuck MND. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Feel for you, brother. Really do.
Yeah. I understand. That's harsh, man. Someone that's had experience with it too would definitely know
shit
what's coming.
Yeah. But our love to Maddie and her family, bro. Yeah. Because it is massive, and yeah, it sucks. Considering that you and Nan was still so young as well, and and then when you kind of put Jai Arrow into that, where he's 30, is awful. And what I've been absolutely stoked with this week, and even last round, is all the players that were shouting him out, and there was an element there that I just felt was awesome, where they were heartfelt words. It wasn't just that throwaway, this is the thing we say this week. Players who admittedly said, I don't know Jai that much, but I can imagine just a little bit of what he might be going through, having my own kids, having my own family. And I just really rate that the community of the NRL is getting around him and his family, and I really do hope that the NRL do step up to the plate and do something for July, so
July would be momentous like that. Man.
I really do hope that happens, and I think all players, all fans are screaming for it, want it, deserve it, and Jai deserves it more than anyone. So yeah,
agreed. Thanks for sharing that too, Brownie. I appreciate it, bro.
100.
Yeah, we got to do something for it, eh? July would be sick.
Be so good.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's wrap it up there, guys, I reckon. Thanks heaps for listening in, listeners. Follow Brownie's Breakdown. Follow Kenty's Market Move. Follow Blindside NRL. Donate some money to anything that's going on with MND right now. If you know someone that's gone through it, you can see how painful it is for people. You can see, without having to experience it, you can imagine what that struggle is like for the person going through it. Especially if you know who they were before being diagnosed with the illness and you see the deterioration, it would be really difficult for that person and their loved ones around them to go through that experience. So, yeah, if there's any sort of charity thing that comes up, I'll definitely get it out and about so that everyone can see it. It'd be definitely
that'd be cool, bro. That'd be real cool.
Yeah. But on a brighter note, up the Blues. Let's just hope for a good game.
I thought you said brighter note.
All right. So here's Jai trying to be nice and stuffers sideline tonight. You want to hear two Queenslanders get absolutely murdered on the microphone, because I will not stop for 80 minutes. They are getting absolute barbs thrown at them. So tune in, sideline.fm. We're doing just general commentary on Origin. And it probably won't be like Cleary gets the ball, cut out pass to Hudson Young. He's just scored 5 tries in the first half. Brilliant. Like, it won't be stuff like that. It'll be more like...
No, that would never be the stuff like that.
We're going to see a bit of beef on the field, going to call it out, say why we think certain things are happening. Like, we commentate a lot on momentum. That's what we feel. It's like we follow momentum of a game, which I think is pretty cool. So yeah, tune in. Thanks for listening, and up the Sharks. We'll see you on the next one.
Up the Waz.
Queenslander baby, up the storm. Boom.
Yes, thanks for coming on too, Jamal Idris. It was great having you.
Yeah, no worries, Mum.